setting up.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. I think that might be okay. If it isn't, I'm just gonna have to set it all back up once I'm up and running. There we go.
Yeah, and it seems like always 5 or 10 minutes into it, then you crash.
No, it's today. I've had my computer switched off.
It might not happen
Look at
today.
that. Oh, that's no good. It's just I need to be able to see what it is that I'm setting up, because obviously what I'm doing there isn't right.
Okay.
Let me just twiddle about a bit. Brightness. The contrast. I don't think I need. That's better.
Hello, somebody's in the chat. Hello.
Just go live and it's okay.
I know, I'm live. I was just waiting for people to come in the chat. Oh, hi, Mystic Unicorn. Welcome. Yeah, Ian's just trying to still set up. How's everybody doing? Ian, how you doing? Mystic, how you doing?
I'm good.
You had a good New Year's Day with your friends?
Yeah. Well, it loosened up a few old creaky bones. It's been a while since I last did it's been a while since I did a reasonable length walk.
But do you do walking? Do you try to do some walking for exercise?
I used to do it one time a day, but I broke my leg several years ago, and it's quite painful walking for long distances. So,
hello, people in the chat. Just a minute. Let me bring up the chat on the iPad. Ian is still setting up, so welcome. Let's see who's here. Mystic Unicorn's here, and okay,
why is that like that? Oh dear.
Hi, Gracie, Mystic Unicorn. Hello.
Nearly there.
Oh, let's see. Oh, hi, Madonna. Oh, hi, Bobby.
That's as close as I can get it.
How's everybody doing? Bobby, how are you? And Gracie, I spoke with Gracie today.
Mm-hmm.
And Mystic is waiting for her daughter to come off the bus. Oh, Madonna, how are you?
Right, I'm ready when thou art.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, there's a little bit of flickeriness on it, and I can't get rid of it.
Are you doing one of the requests that people had of a coyote eating a piece of bacon?
Yeah, we were requested it. I couldn't find one eating any bacon, unfortunately. So we've had to make do with just a coyote. Now, whether that's a coyote or not, I have not got a clue, because we don't have them in the UK. So I just put an internet search in, and it brought up several different animals.
That's probably it. I think that's it.
So
We're waiting for Sleeve Stack Rule. He's the one that requested it.
aye. Oh, how come they don't turn up when it's like almost a curse every week. The person who requests it don't turn up.
Oh, well, I didn't notice that because I called.
Oh yeah, they are.
Also up when we did his and
Oh
Sleeve
no,
Stack.
Paul did.
Yes.
Paul did. Hey,
What was that?
You're gonna have to read for me because I've not got it up today.
That's fine.
Internet.
I'm reading the chat. Yes. Okay, hold on. Diana, to be free. Cat.
What? So for me, it looks a little bit like it's like a fox's head on top of a wolf with very long legs.
Right.
That's what I get from it. So it's a bit of a mishmash. It's a 9 variety.
Okay, well, Sleeve Stack Rule could probably tell you more. I think he knows a lot about them.
Well, he may have them in his local area.
He does.
And do the owl like wolves?
Yes, they're like wolves.
This one I'm looking at looks like a wolf, but it's obviously not a wolf because there's certain characteristics that are just not quite the same. Right. It's got a very long snout.
Okay.
You know, its nose is very long in comparison to a wolf. A wolf's got more of a dog's nose, not as long.
Yeah, that's probably it. The coyote, that what you have is probably it.
But we'll go with it because it's as close as I can get. It were that or paint a budgie.
I don't know what that is.
A budgie? You know what a budgie is?
No.
Them little birds that you have in cage that go.
Oh, that. Well, I first heard about that with one of Bobby's friends who raises bougie. And I never hear that word, and I never heard it before, and I never hear it unless it's connected with him.
It's budgies, not bougies.
Budgies.
Budgies. Bo.
Are they like are they like
they're like little parrots.
Okay.
Little miniature parrots. But not parrots. They're not parakeets. They're smaller than them. They're like little outdoor birds. Not that much bigger than them.
Gracie said, "Is it a coyote or a wolf?" He's trying to paint a coyote. That was the request from Sleeve Stack Rule last week.
Mm-hmm. So this one's again. It's in a snowscape. So we're going to do a little bit of snowscaping.
Oh, that's nice. I like snowscapes.
So don't know how we're going to deal with that yet, but we might as well get on with it. Are we nearly ready for making a start?
Yeah, go ahead, start.
Right then. So I've got a few brushes anyway. I mean, I may not. I mean, look at the plethora of brushes I've got today. What's all that all about?
You're going to use them?
Well, I've got them there if I need them. I may or may not use them. So these are things that I was looking at. I were going to think about having a look at using a fan brush for doing some. Where have I put my fan brush? You know, one of these, because up at the top here there's some pine trees, and I see people doing fan.
Pine trees and fan brushes.
They can do, but to be frank, I don't think it's a very good tool for doing that with watercolors. It is with certain things, but not with watercolors.
Okay.
They're not. To be frank, with watercolors, these brushes are not used that often.
Yes, Christy was just talking about them this week, but in terms of acrylics.
Yeah, they're better for heavy-bodied paints. for blending. That's what they really are. The blenders. They're for literally blending two colours together. So, although they have got other uses, but that's what they're for originally. But
Donna knows something about coyotes.
Oh, go on then. Give some coyote facts.
He says yes. They aren't as bulky as wolves, and they have longer snouts than wolves.
Yes, that's what I've noticed on the images that I've found. They seem to have an elongated snout.
They run in packs.
That goes with most dogs, doesn't
and
it?
they sound like they're screaming when they howl all together. It drives the hounds crazy at night.
We've got next door neighbours who've got dogs like that. I don't know what they are, the dogs. They've only just moved in, but they're constantly like
good. They're new neighbours.
New neighbours. New soon not to be new neighbours. If I put a complaint in. Not that I'm going to do that. I'm a responsible next door neighbour, me. Go around and make a piece of apple pie for them or something like that. So, because it's a grey, wintry kind of scene, the sky I'm going to do, I'm going to start at top here and just cover that bit there.
Are you going to make it a grey sky?
Fairly grey. I'm going to put a bit of blue in it.
Oh, okay.
Just not much. And one of the easy ways to do, right, first of all, we want to get a neutral. So I'm going to get some of that blue that I've just used, and I'm going to mix it with a bit of brown.
Right, we were learning all about that today with Dina.
Yeah. Neutralize it a little bit.
Oh, that's right. You came late. You came late to her.
Yeah, I missed it. Do you know what?
She was talking all about that, how to make neutrals.
They're really important neutrals in paintings because they allow you.
I know.
They allow you to put pops of strong colour in certain strategic places, so that you can tell your viewer, look, this is an important part.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of neutral colour in your painting and then one bit that's strong, people's eyes are naturally drawn towards it.
Well, she intermingles her neutrals with her brights, but she says she needs the neutrals to balance things out. Yeah.
If you have too many strong colours fighting with one another, it's just too much, and it makes your brain switch off.
Yeah.
So I've put some paint on the brush, and we're going to go for this first still now, and we're just going to dry brush across it like that. I don't know if y'all can see that actually. Just creating like a.
Oh yeah, we can see that.
I need to dab it off a bit more, and obviously this is going to dry a lot lighter. So I've gone that way first as a downhill, and then I'm going to go this way, and it creates two separate areas then. And then I'm going to do that same thing again. Although before we go any farther, I'm going to get a touch of blue in there. See if I can tease that blue out a bit like that. And maybe like that. And with this as well, just to put a little bit of warmth in it, you can put a teeny bit of yellow here and there, but make sure that you're not doing it and it's mingling into what they call it, into a greeny colour, because we don't want that really. So as we get closer, we get a little bit brighter, and the colours a lot stronger.
Gracie asked, "How are you, Mr. Jackson?"
Me, I'm all right. I've had a restful period of a holiday season, and I'm raring to go. Really, just want to start getting on with you, really. So what I'm doing now is I'm introducing a very light grey, and I'm more stippling it than anything else, because from here on you'll start to see areas of contrast and what have you, whereas this is more like a flat wash, if you know. So from here on, we'll get texture in it, and because blue is a really good colour for doing snow, but you want to have a little bit of texture in it.
Will you have white all over the ground or not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best to just remember this is all going to dry a lot lighter. So I could go over it again with a little bit of blue, but we've got to come back to this anyway because there's trees in the background that I want to get done. So, and it's a very subtle, like, I don't know if even you know duck egg blue.
Oh yeah, Rob. I've heard of Rob. You mean robin's egg blue?
I don't know whether it's called that or not, but it's a very, very light blue.
Right. I think a lot of in here we call that robin's egg blue.
Right. I think and that I'm literally stippling texture now. I'm not doing long, because in distance it all looks one blur, right? Once you get closer to the foreground, you're going to see waves and undulations and things like that, and you're going to leave a lot more white areas in that area.
And Gracie wants to know what paper you're using.
Today I am using a piece of the Heinemule anniversary paper, which is £200 in weight. £200 in weight, which if you're in anywhere else other than the USA, that's 425 grams, and it's a knot paper, which is the middle type of paper.
It's heavyweight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bordering on heavyweight, yeah. So here is all foreground stuff. So I can be, I'm going to get some that can be a lot darker. So, and again, it's like stipply. I'm not being hyper, you know. Bring that out a little bit.
Is that supposed to suggest slushy snow or rock?
Well, it's a snow, but it's not. It's snow. Just remember that'll. As you get more in foreground, you get to see more colour.
Yeah.
And contrary to popular belief, snow is not white.
Uh-huh.
And I'll put suggestions of things like that there. But at this stage as well,
Snow is not white, everybody.
Snow is not white. What I'm looking at it in, I can see pinks in it, I can see yellows in it, I can see purples. And I'm going to identify that.
Gracie wants to know, do you ever use liner or rigger brushes to paint the fur with watercolors?
I wouldn't use a liner brush to paint fur. For me, that's a dry brush technique, fur. And although you do need a little bit of, I'll show you a type. I mean, you can use these, what I normally use, but I will show you a type of brush that's good for using in a bit. Just at the critical moment. Okay. Put it on to take it off.
Wait, Mystic Unigon said fan brush question mark. So, Mystic Unigon, do you know what a fan brush looks like? Is that your question?
No, this is a fan brush. They're also called blenders, but they come in all sorts of different types. Some are quite stiff, and this is quite soft. It's not for everybody generally. It's supposed to be for a watercolor, but I don't like using these with watercolor. I never seem to be able to get the kind of right kind of feel with it. So that's a snow mostly done, or that snowscape around it. And I'm just going to check this.
Well, Mystic Unigon wants to know, could you use the fan brush for fur?
Well, you could do, yeah, but I'm going to show you a brush that's much better at doing fur than that. If I can find it. I've got a couple of brushes actually that are really good for doing fur. If you, can't find it there. Where are you? There you are. Right. We've got this. Don't know if you can see that. This is a filbert, but it's got a rake in it.
So they call it a rake brush?
It is, well, when a brush is called a rake, it just means it's had certain parts of it serrated out of it.
Right.
So it rakes as well as being the shape of the actual brush. So can you see that that's...
Yep.
And that they are very good for doing, if you can get hold of one of those, that they are ideal for doing fur. Another one which is of a similar nature, but this is a bit more extreme, and that's almost like a fork. It's like a comb brush, that.
Yeah.
Can you hear them?
No. Hear your brush?
No, dog's next door.
No.
I can. So that they're brushes like that have a rake on the end of them. Now, ironically enough, you can get a fan brush that's got a rake. I don't want to go too off the beaten track here, but I think this is a bit too big for the job. This is a fan brush, but that has a rake at the end of it. So you've got your fan there, and at the end it's got that rake in. And you can, but it's for this particular size of painting, it's a bit, for me, it's a bit too cumbersome and too big, that. So we won't use that. I'd use that on one twice the size of this page, because they can be a bit cumbersome, these brushes, because they're quite wide. But any brush that has like a raking on it like that, it will do a really good kind of what they call it, fur. But one thing you've not got to do is wind yourself up about fur. It's like, I've got to get it right. You can just put a flat wash over.
And just a flat wash, and that's it?
Yeah, you could flat wash it and just put the basic colours in and just do like brush strokes. Shoom, 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 and it's done. You don't have to like go with every little bit. That is not how to do fur. It honestly, you can tell that a person's not used to painting animals when you look, and they've painted every single tuft of fur in.
Well, I was looking at Chrissy's acrylic painting, and we can really see. I really feel like I can see all the texture of all the hairs.
Because in acrylic, what she's gone for is a textured, brushy kind of stroke. But I'm on about
watercolor.
No, generally speaking, on a let's say that you've got an animal there, and people go, and you can see every year. You don't have to do that. You can go like this and go. Like that. See, that's where they've drawn every single hair. And that's just like a wash of, and giving it the impression.
Which one are you saying? The bottom one is
the bottom one's the one to go for, because if you try painting stuff like that, unless you're doing photorealism, where they do paint every single individual hair in, you'll be there all day, and if you're not experienced with controlling that, it'll just end up looking over detailed and not right. So
hi Kevin Helming, welcome.
So right, where were we? Right, we're gonna now. I'm gonna go to my filbert, and in the background there's like the remains of some sort of forest. So what I'm gonna do is, because that's grey still, I want a green, but I want it to have a greyness about it. So it's got to have some sort of, and there's a nice colour called Peroline green, which is nice. It's a black actually, but it has an undertone of Are you sure you can't hear that?
The dogs?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Can't believe it. Right, so what I'm going to do is put that first coat on, and it's underneath an hill. Well, it's behind a hill, so I'm just going to go. Let some come beyond hill and over, and I'm deliberately leaving little highlights as well. And then this is fairly dry brush again, and I'm going to just let that.
And then Kevin made a joke. He said, "It's good, but it doesn't really look like Tyrannosaurus."
Hey?
I know, he's making a joke.
I don't know.
He's saying it's good, but it doesn't really look like Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, I know, because he's not painting a dinosaur, he's painting a coyote.
It's good, did you say? It's good, but it doesn't look like...
It's good, but it doesn't really look like Tyrannosaurus.
All right.
He's just making a joke. Grace said, "Could you make your own rake brush from an old paintbrush?"
Well, if you're not bothered about, I won't go out and buy a $50 Raphael brush and go and cut it down. No, I won't. But if it's an old one, yeah.
That's what she said, an old paintbrush.
Yeah. Just get a bit of a, just get a bit. Look how that's made. Right? They're just trimming out little bits. You'd have to be careful about it. But yeah, I mean, you can always customize brushes. You know, once they're beyond the point of normal use. I mean, look at this. I customized that, and it does its job. So we've got like a nice neutrally grey background of trees there. We'll let that dry a bit, and then we'll put some foreground trees in. So now I want to. Hey?
Is that a dagger brush?
Yeah, it started its life as a filbert. When I made this, it was going to be a filbert, and I started playing with it, and I thought, no, I'm going to turn it into a dagger. And that's what it's like. It's like an inverted dagger. Although I ain't got the proper tools to curve it that way. It's really difficult doing it like that. So
I've never used a dagger brush. I've used angle brushes, which are close to that, but not dagger.
Well, get yourself one because they are worth having. They're as good as an angle brush.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you don't want an overly long one to start with because they're difficult. They can be difficult to control if you're not used to them. So my I'm going to show you my brushes here. Now we've got a few sticking to it. I've got a few here that are dagger brushes. I've got one there that's really long, but that takes some controlling, and that one there's a really long one as well. So you want one that's about this big, same size as that, or one of those, and you'll find you can use that as an angle brush as well, and you can use it for all sorts of things. Very, very useful brushes. Not to everybody's taste, but right. I'm going to go in with my pointy brush now. Pointy brush. Now this animal, right? It's got an underlayer of like a goldy orange. But what I'm going to do first is wet the area and get a really light version of it on it.
Hello, Rosanna. Hello, Jen's Wild About Art. Welcome.
And literally, I'm just all of it, right? I don't know about that. There. I'm just gonna put various colours in like that, all over its body area. Now there are, I think there is there, a bit there. I think the entire body of this animal has like an orangey yellow, you know, like Alsatians have.
Like what?
German Shepherd dogs.
I think of German Shepherds kind of as grayish.
Yeah, they are, but they have like a goldy tinge underneath it.
Oh, I never noticed that.
So I'm just getting this. This is a bit. The legs on these dogs are really weird. They're really, really long for size of the body. So again, that's another thing that we've got to let settle a bit. It's all about settling with watercolors. Let it settle a bit. There you go. And I'm going to where it mostly has this strong orangey colour is there.
Today the reception is much better. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, am I watching it on YouTube? Yes, I'm watching it on YouTube. Yeah,
is it a lot better? Is it?
Now.
No, that's good. It's about time we had a decent reception.
And you didn't get knocked off in the first 10 minutes. Maybe it has something to do with not having your computer on today.
Well, I switched it off for about half an hour before, but I find it happens anyway. Periodically, it'll switch off. I think it just gets overheated, and my system's got an eating failsafe in it, so it's just there to protect it, and it locks up when it does that. And now I'm going to get, let's try a little bit of green on it and a bit of brown, a bit more brown. So I'm using some burnt umber now, mixed in with a little bit of very dark green.
Gracie wanted to know if you're going to use burnt sienna over top of the yellow. Yes,
I am. Yes. Right, and this is the way to deal with fur. It may not be dry enough yet, but look how I've sprigged my brush. I made it really spriggy. Yeah, and it's fairly dry this, and I'm just gonna go. It's a bit wet this at the moment, but it'll be a good underlay of this. I just want to, and if it gets if it goes back uniform a bit too much, then you probably can't see it at the moment. I probably need to.
They're talking about a Bob Ross channel. Everybody's saying there's a Bob Ross channel over on Twitch, the Twitch platform, and it's on 24/7.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want to watch Bob Ross, there's a YouTube channel.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel.
The almost all of his videos.
Yeah, Bob Ross, right?
And you can watch that whenever you want. You can't watch us whenever you want. We're here for limited time only. Not that I've got anything against Bob Ross at all. I haven't. We're a great servant to art, and I'm just teasing out areas that I think look. I really want to leave that now because it's gonna be too wet. It's too wet at the moment to work with it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get another brush and we're gonna work on background again because it's time to do it. So I'm gonna again I'm gonna look at this green and I'm gonna put a bit of yellow ochre in it. So I've got this like really deep green. And
There's great. We were still talking about Bob Ross, and Gracie said Bob Ross never got paid for a single TV episode. That's what I'd heard too.
Well, he's got
got paid for going around the country teaching. He never sold his artwork either. It's in storage right now. 14 pieces are in a museum.
He's got to have got something out of it somehow.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, he was a good artist. He put himself forward, and that's what.
I don't know why.
At the end of the day, I mean, thing is, at the end of the day, I often wonder, especially on things like YouTube, why people are in such a mad rush to make money out of art.
Make money at their art?
Yeah, why? Believe me, it's a hard game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can be very frustrating, and unless you're in the top echelons of creative art, you ain't going to succeed at it.
Or have connections.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you don't have to be in the top echelon. You can also just know the right people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't make a living out of art. Obviously, you can, but it's hard work. It's very hard work. Don't let anybody.
I know it becomes like work.
Do you know? I had this advert. Oh, by the way, it's not a rant of the day, but it's almost joyous news. I had an advert come on, which were 15 minutes long, telling me about how I can succeed in art and follow these 10 steps that I'm going to tell you all about, and all steps that are built blatantly. And I've got this way of doing things. Yeah, fair enough. You might have made your millions yourself, but that's you and not me.
Now, Jen's Wild About Art has something interesting that she says. I think this world of YouTube and online has created a lot of opportunities for artists who otherwise would
absolutely.
Never. That's for that count that applies to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, put it this way: if it weren't for YouTube, I wouldn't be doing any of these things like this. I might be doing some private online tutorials and stuff, but apart from that, yeah, I mean, it does provide an awful lot of opportunities for people. It's just just don't look at it as though it's a golden ticket and you're going to make money fast. Don't work like that.
Maybe for some people, but anyway.
But that's what I was talking about. This person coming on and saying, "Oh, you know, do all these things and come on my course and come and do it." And I thought, and I had to sit through and listen to this before I watched the video.
Why you didn't want to click off of it?
It won't. Up until for the last few weeks, it's not let me click off.
What's that about? Why you couldn't click off?
All adverts have not been unclickable. And I've been having like 10, 15-minute long adverts in some of them.
I know, they have to really
about a silly, stupid stuff. really ridiculous. I mean,
I have not run in. Has anybody else run into where adverts this past week where you cannot click off? I haven't. I've been able to click off everything. Anybody else have a problem where they can't click off of adverts?
yeah, I mean, so anyway, what I've ended up doing in desperation is getting one of those advert blockers onto my computer.
Yeah, I guess you would.
And guess what? I've not had an advert since.
Oh, okay.
So it's a joyous day for me today because I've had almost, well, since I put it on this afternoon, I've had a advert free day.
No, the ones that I can't click off on are there's really short ones. I've never had any real long.
I mean, I don't mind these 30 seconds to 1 minute adverts, but
right,
there's these like ones that are like
15 minutes. I know they're like 15 minutes. 20.
I ended up watching a video, financial stocks and shares video.
Exactly.
Why did I want that?
Show.
I'm thinking, I really don't want that. And I had no choice over it. And the ironic thing is, the video that I wanted to watch was like 5 minutes long.
Right.
And you think,
oh, hi, Dina. Dina's here.
Hello. I'm just starting to check this. Right, so we've got some. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use one of my small mop brushes, and I'm going to hollow these out a little bit and like lock them into one another, so they're almost like one thing. And you get a little bit of like a consistency, as it were. You know what I mean? You probably don't, but in my own silly brain. Yeah, we've been discussing your live stream, Dina.
Oh yeah. Hold on, Gracie has a question. She says, will you be using burnt umber next?
Yeah, for this bit here, yeah. So we put this goldy orangey colour in it that this wolf creature has.
Oh, hi, Christy. Not Chrissy Canvas Art. It's Christy. Christy, hi, Christy.
I know there's that many Chrissys and Christies and Chrissa and Chrisamundo and Christanini. I'm making them other ones up, actually. They're in.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you're welcome, Dina.
Right, we're nearly ready. I might need to. Oh, I can't because all my thingies are took up.
Dina says your painting's looking good, Ian.
Thank you, Dina. I'm gonna put the pink lightsaber on. Well, nearly a water disaster.
Yes, Dina. We were talking about your live stream because of talking about the neutrals, and Ian came in at the tail end of your live stream today. I was telling him that yes, you were talking a lot about the importance of neutrals for balancing out a painting, and he totally agrees, and that's helpful information to me to think about to add to my work.
I'm going to put the so you're gonna have to talk over me for a bit, unfortunately.
Okay, because you're gonna what?
Because I'm gonna put my heat gun on.
A hair dryer.
Yeah.
Well, not the hair dryer.
No, it's not an hair. I wouldn't want to use this. Mind you, I've not got no hair anyway, so it will make no difference.
Let's see. Dean says, wait, please.
I've got just a bit more hair than that bald guy had to King and I.
Oh, wait, before you turn it on, Dina says she's sorry if I think she says she thinks she didn't say hello to you today because so she's sorry.
No, I mean she was in mid flow. I came in literally in last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah,
she was just in the process of wrapping the show up, really. So I didn't expect her to. I'd been doing some research on pigment, making various pigments, and I've been watching this video all afternoon about it. And
you didn't need you didn't need today's live stream like Dina said. Dina says yes. Ian is expert at neutral and brights balancing. You totally didn't need to see this live stream today.
Well, I don't know. That's we all can learn something from another person's way of dealing with.
Right. He probably could still learn.
Just because I'm an expert in X, Y, or Z, it don't mean to say that I don't need to learn anything else about it. It's,
right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's application from another person's angle, and that might be that thing that pushes you on that bit further. Where you had a block, you might have plateaued at a certain level.
Yeah.
And when you see someone else doing it, something that you've been doing yourself, but in a different way, it might shoot you up and progress you in such a way that a lot of other training might not have taught you. So by looking at other people's artwork and the way that they deal with that particular problem, you can figure out and learn a lot of things, even if it's something that you've been doing for years. But anyway, let's see if I can get this dry. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, take care, Gracie. StreamYard music. Everybody, that's a feature of StreamYard. We heard it really loud at the beginning, and then in about a minute, StreamYard mutes the sound. I mean, mutes it lower. Watching other people. Yeah.
I think that might be okay. Have a quick touch. Yeah, should be all right. That. Right then. Oh, here we go. No, should I use that? Yeah, I think I will do. Right. So where were we with this? Well, we're gonna start putting dark bits in. Now, okay, you could paint every single individual area if you wanted, but that would be very time consuming. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a burnt umber and a very dark green. There's one or two dark greens that work well with this. Forest Green by Sennelier is a nice one, a very dark green, and Perylene Green. But what you can do if you ain't got that, you can use I forgot what they call it now. Phthalo green. Is it phthalo green? Can't remember. It's like a bottley green, if you know what I mean.
Like a what? A bodily green?
Yeah, bottle green.
Bottle green. Or Viridian? What about Viridian green?
Oh, Viridian, that's it. Viridian. My brain. Dear me, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of ready ochre kind of into it. So I've got a nice, and it's a fairly dry paint, this. It's not runny or wet. And what I'm going to do is, because it's a brush that's raked, I'm going to go in like a directional kind of a way. I'm going to go feather it really lightly. And you just got to be really, really delicate with it, and in patches. And it's a dry brush technique. And you build it up bit by bit.
Oh, you're starting out quite dark.
Yeah, but just take into account with watercolors, it will lighten.
Wow.
You've always got to like make it that slight bit lighter, darker than what you think it should be. And the I mean, just take into account as well, this is its second coat. It's got its under light, under yellow and orange colour. The next bit is like a brown, a dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
And the very final bit will be the detailing, where there's lots of intricate little bits of very dark. And you'll see the difference. When we get to the point of when we get to the point of doing the very last bits, you'll see the difference between the now make this a little bit more watery, because I want to come down to this here.
Oh, I wanted to, since with Dina here, I wanted to talk about, again, you were talking about how difficult it is to be a, are you saying how difficult it is to be a professional artist? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm not a professional fine artist, but I do work within the art industry, and hats off to anybody who can make a living out of it, because it ain't easy. And there's loads of like people come on and say, oh, go on my course, and I'll teach you all the psychological tricks. And
oh yeah, I've seen that.
And I think, no, just get on with it and get some hard work done. I mean, there are certain things that are obvious that you can do that will help you. Absolutely. Right, so what I'm going to do now, because this, what makes it really like fur is I've just got some lemony yellow. I'm going to tap it off a little bit. No, that's too much, unfortunately. And like a German Shepherd dog might have, although this isn't one, but it's similar to. It's got like little patches of blended in yellowiness.
Dina says she loves your dry brush technique. It's very convincing fur.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, there are other techniques to doing fur, but by far the easiest way is dry brush technique, because you've got loads of control. And in reality, that's what we want, because it's such a difficult thing to get right. And by no means is this something that I do on a regular basis either. So, I mean, I'm learning as I'm going on as well. So,
right. And for the dry brush, did you use a rake brush?
Yes, I'm using one now. This is what I'm using.
Okay.
And you see how that's mellowed it out a bit now? It's not as dark. I mean, thing is, you've got to take into account that when I'm painting this, I'm seeing the real colours. You as a viewer may not be. It's always a little bit distorted, the colour on video. So
well,
you got to be careful not to be overly faffing at this point as well.
Overly what?
Faffing about with it and putting too
Like
much.
too much.
Yeah. Now I'm going to leave that for time being. Oh, I tell a lie, that needs doing there. And really try and make sure that your brush is fairly dry so it drags. It's a draggy motion and it's directional. Don't just paint it flat.
Right.
Follow the shape of the animal.
Yeah.
So, and then down here you've got it down on its leg there. It's pretty much like that yellowy brown colour, although its paws, which I really ought to be doing with a different brush. That's the problem with these brushes. When you get rakes, they're not particularly very good for getting detail done, especially when it's dry. So there you go. That's that leg. And a little bit down there. Let's see if we can bring that down a bit. That goes like that. We're almost onto the face. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing on this, but I'm going to, it's more for a detailed brush, this. So I know that it's got like a bit that comes down like that, and a bit that comes down like that. And then trying my best to follow the and then underneath that, and I really ought to at this stage be using a more precise brush, because I can feel myself struggling with this now at this level of detail.
And what, you don't have a smaller rake brush, right?
Unfortunately, no, I haven't. But there are other things you can use. I've got that rakiness in what I want. That's as much rakiness in the head that I want. All the rest of it's going to be I mean, I don't even know whether.
Hi, Carolyn, to be free.
I don't even know whether you guys can actually see that.
Yes, Carolyn. Oh, I'm sorry.
Things in it.
Yes, we can see it good today. Today, this is very, very good reception.
Oh, that's good.
It does not keep blurring in and out like a lot of the past few weeks.
No, don't say that to it. It'll have a paddy fit, and so now I'm working with a really fine detailed pointed brush now, which is, in this face area being so small, that's the kind of level of brush you need. Something that you've got loads of control over. I'm going to get a bit more. Only problem is with this particular brush is it's not very good for mixing. It really does, like, it bends too easily.
Yes, Carolyn, This is the painting that Sleestack requested earlier this week.
When did he do that?
It was
on your live.
Yeah, it was early. It was like around Monday or something.
All right. Can't remember when he did it.
It was either Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, it was Monday or Tuesday.
Right, now we've got some and this is going to be like detail-y stuff now.
Hi, Ian Matthews.
Hello, Ian. So one of the things that this particular animal has, he's got like a bit that goes like that. And very prominent above its eyes. It's got like a very prominent like edge around its eyes that's dark. So we'll get that in. The next thing that's dark that we want to get in is its snout. Not its snout.
Oh, you won't show us like a round eyeball?
Yeah, I will do, but I don't want to do it. When you're doing detail like this, you've got to be very careful about it not all just flooding into one another. So you've got to leave it for a little bit. And
Ian Matthews says, he says, nice fur on the front forward leg. It really shows supple movement.
Yeah, I like how it's moving actually. The actual
form. I think he says form. I think he's saying form. Nice form on the front forward leg. The form of the leg.
Yeah, I mean, I picked that out because it had like a really nice sense of it's moving, but it's wary of you, the viewer.
Yeah.
So it brings you into the painting as well. You know, it can obviously sense that you're there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And this is where we can start getting some more dark bits in.
And he's going to have bacon in his mouth, right?
Not really.
No?
No, I don't know.
Only if Stack was here.
I was thinking about putting like a pheasant or something like that in there. But no, I think I'll just leave it as it is. But I mean, he's got almost what I did say we would probably if we could find one. But he's got the majority of what he wanted. And this outer edge here, that has. I mean, I don't understand really that people watch things like this when it gets to faffy detail, because it does me head in, this kind of stuff. All little faffy little bits. Just repetition. And I know that helps make up part of your painting, but
let's see, we have somebody new here. Ethrak. Ethrak, welcome, Ethrak. And he said, and I don't know, I'm sorry, he or she says, looks nice.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to go even darker now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that burnt umber brown.
Oh, Carolyn has something funny.
Hey, did she?
Carolyn says you could duct tape a piece of bacon to the on it.
Well, you could to under its nose. That would be quite funny. Yeah, why not? And
Carolyn.
And semi-topical. Because I think we've moved on from the banana thing, haven't we now?
Yeah. Seems like nobody's talking about it.
It's last week's artwork, isn't it?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks. No, we don't. You know, who's counting in art? Right. So I've got a pretty hardcore black now. And the place where I'm gonna test it out is here.
Hi, the Lori Files.
Flicky, flicky, flick. Flicky, flicky, flick.
She says she's late to the party.
Oh, well.
So you
can always wind
Mhm.
back. I'm going to take the side of the brush and like feather it a bit. Oh, this is an opportunity for us to use that feather brush.
And I believe the Lori Files are you from Australia or New Zealand?
Oh.
And for Jen's Wild About Art, are you two from Australia or New Zealand? Yeah, Jen's Wild About Art is yep, she lives in Australia. And then
we know Jen.
Australia, and they say, and then the Lori File said the Burning Land. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey, listen, it's been that bad this year. Even England had fires.
Really?
I mean, the place that never stops raining. So I feel for you guys in hot countries. I really do. What I find really weird about the fires in Australia is they're not in the central part of Australia. They're all on borders where coasts are.
Oh, that's weird.
Which is really, really weird. Just for me, I mean, you would have thought that it would have been, but mind you, I suppose it's central part where all the deserts are. There isn't anything to burn anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it.
Probably. I mean, I'm no natural scientist kind of person, so I won't want to overly speculate.
Yes, I'm keeping you guys in my prayers, Lori and Jen.
Right, what time are we on? Woo! Just to key it all together, all right? So I've worked quite a bit on that for a while. I'm going to leave it to dry for a short while. I'm going to re-emphasize bits here with a bit of dry brushing. And I can see little sprigs of things here and there.
Oh, Jen said they have lots of coastal forests, just like you probably said. Like that's why it's not because the desert in the middle of their land.
That's it. I mean, it's almost uninhabitable central part of it because it's like a desert, isn't it? So they live mainly on coastal region, don't know most people. Well, it's like the USA. A lot of the central part of the USA is kind of like deserty.
No, that's like Southwest.
Yeah, well, anything that's roughly towards equator, and I mean, there's parts of America that the moan
Midwest
about.
is very fertile, kind of farmland. So you're talking about the Southwest.
Well, I'm talking about parts of America that moan about when it's like 80 degrees, and they say, "Oh, it's getting cold." What? Our country's never had that
That's the
temperature
South.
ever. So you can tell that area of America is like a place where it's hot 99% of the time.
Right. The South and the Southwest.
Even in winter. And in places like that, yeah, you are going to get, especially as there's a lot of book passing and saying, oh, it's not our responsibility to keep these places irrigated, and you know what I mean. At one time of day, that wouldn't have happened because somebody, a park ranger or somebody who had money to spend, would have kept the place irrigated. Right. What I am going to do now is I'm going to introduce, as much as I can, a little bit of sienna or
here's something that Lori said. Lori said the trouble is that Australia, the trouble Australia has is that we have had over 8 years of drought. This is the result. Yeah. Horrific, but Australia is resilient and we will be okay.
It will do. It's well, I mean, these things are going to happen more frequently, aren't they? But well, it's not something that. Listen, from those forest fires grow new forests. That's been proven, and you know, it helps new growth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We know that from a positive, but I mean, it's hard because you know nobody wants anything to be burning down and what have you, but it just shows you how lightweight our possessions are. We might think that we've got them, we might have worked hard for them, but it's dead easy to lose them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not everybody's got insurance that can cover the backs either. So, I mean, in our area we had flooding just before December, and quite a few people. I mean, it just doesn't happen around our way, but a lot of people have ended up having problems.
Oh, and then Lori said, sadly, in many places in Australia, the soil got so hot during the fires, it will not grow back.
Oh yeah, I mean, the grass that would normally grow on it probably being neutralized. But I mean, that's up to authorities to, you know, pump some money into it and get some of this land reclaimed. It's not hard to start getting areas protected and bits of grass on it and stuff like that. I mean, I live in an area that's got a national park, a massive big national park called the Peak District National Park, and that gets tended to all the time and looked after, and it gets hundreds of millions of pounds spent on it every year.
Oh, and this is a really sad fact also, is that over 1 billion animals are dead and we have lost complete species.
Possibly, yeah, because I mean, there's some animals that just don't live anywhere else. Some of them little marsupials and things like that only place on planet where they actually live. in saying that, I do believe in that particular case, there are certain places in the world, for example, America and places like Britain and Europe, where they keep a few of them, you know, specialized species, just in case indigenous species of various areas get wiped out. In fact, a few years ago, the otters in Britain were wiped out for various reasons. All sorts of, you know, silly things happened. There were a disease, they were being hunted, and you know, all sorts of things. Tone that down a bit. I'm going to do the eyes now. And they've got very interesting eyes, these animals.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna make them like green or something.
No, it's got an orange background, like an orangey yellow background. The eyes,
yeah.
And then it's got like a when that's dry. Let's see if I can get some of these details in here.
Oh, like amber eyes?
Yeah, they've got like amber eyes, yeah. And then they've got like a black slit for their eyes. I'm just putting the odd hair or two there, just to make it seem as though I've done tons of detail. That's it. You don't have to do tons of detail. You just pretend that you're doing it.
I like to try out your theory in watercolor like that.
Well, you've got this video that you can watch and have a go at it.
I was thinking sometime it would be fun that I'm following along with you, and then every now and then I show this on the screen what I've been doing.
Well, we can always split the screen and keep. It would be better if you followed a video and just went on and had half a screen showing video and you on other half a screen painting it. And then you can stop it and start it as quickly or as, you know.
I meant for the live stream purposes of, I guess, entertainment.
Well, yeah, but you can always do that live stream element with what they call it, with a Premiere.
Oh, with a Premiere,
yeah.
Right?
I'm just picking out bits of fluffage now, and like smudging it. But I don't want to do too much. Oh, wait a minute. Too much more to it. So that's how I deal with fur generally.
Oh, Slee Stack Rules here.
Yay! Look what we're doing, Slee Stack.
Coyote for you.
What? She'll turn around and say, "That's not a coyote." Please don't. Right, I'm just going to put the.
Awesome, Ian.
Thank you. What we need to do is frame round it. Oh, it's got a silhouette, not a silhouette, a shadow coming off it that undulates because the snow's undulating. Right, if that's good, they're gonna have. I have a cunning plan. We just do some of these trees here. that are more foregroundy.
He says, Sleeve Stack says, "Oh man, coyotes are misunderstood."
Do you know what? I bet they're lovely animals. They'll be like, I mean, they'll be like dogs. They'll probably act in that kind of a way. But I bet if you could tame one, they'd be a lovely pet. I don't believe in being cruel towards any. Only animal I believe in being cruel towards is an Ewok. And I know you're going to say, "Oh, poor Ewoks," but they deserve it. What did they do to that Death Star? How much money did that cost? How many slaves did it take to build that machine? And what did they do? Blow the Death Star protector thing up. Rant it there. There you go. You watch them Ewoks, they're dangerous. Anyway, I'm going to put me pink lightsaber on.
We have that. Look at StreamYard mutes it down after about a minute. Very nice feature.
I'm just gonna do a bit of dabbing there because that's come down a lot.
Oh, Dina has coyotes where she lives.
Oh, does she?
They roam around. They roam around our river about a mile away, and they are tough beasties.
Oh well, I mean, any animal that has to live out in the wilderness, as it were, they're got to be a bit tough going, aren't they? They're not going to be little cats that sit on a little golden, sit there all day on settee watching TV and being fed, are they?
Okay, Sleestack says, "I know where 3 coyotes live on my street under the pine trees, and you can pet them." Pet them?
Do you know? Yeah, pet them. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I thought they'd be aggressive.
I suppose it's like anything, any animal, right? Once they get used to humans, they just see you as part of their tribe.
Yeah, if they get used to them. Mystic says, "Oh, but they'll eat your cats if you're not careful."
Cats?
Coyotes. She says coyotes will eat cats if you're not careful. I think that's true.
I don't know. Well, put it this way. They're opportunist animals, aren't they?
They do eat cats. Sleestack says they do eat cats.
Well, I'm surprised that dogs don't eat cats. You know, our domestic dogs.
Some of them do.
Well, they rag them up a bit, don't they? If they put it this way, if a cat pushes it too hard, they'll tell them who's boss eventually, won't they?
No, some dogs will just go after a cat no matter what.
Well, yeah, because they can be aggressive dogs, can't they?
Yeah, if it's an aggressive
look, all animals, regardless of how much you've domesticated them, are still going to have that instinct to want to be aggressive to certain things.
Bye, Lori. It was so nice to see you. She goes, she loves your painting. Lovely work.
Oh, thank you. We're not far off done, actually.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
All right, then. Thank you. We'll see you again maybe sometime.
Yes, love to see you next Friday. That'd be great.
Why are you painting?
Next Friday, if you're here.
I am, yeah. I will be. We've just got to start thinking about next week's thing.
Well, I think.
Come on, guys.
Mystic,
this is you in
dinosaur painted. Mystic's been talking a lot about I think she's been talking about dinosaurs and sharks. Which one, Mystic? Do you have a request? Dinosaurs or sharks or something?
I'm sure we could do a shark, but dinosaurs, they're a little bit difficult because there aren't that many realistic, good references to dinosaurs. Because I mean, photography weren't around when dinosaurs were roaming.
No, they do have copyright-free illustrations on Pixabay.com. It's not just photographs; it's also copyright-free illustrations.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can make a dinosaur up from various different animal references, but they're not the. I don't know. It's,
he said Sleestack says Grayscale does he paints dinosaurs.
Yes, he does.
Mystic, would you like? She says she loves sharks. Would you like Ian? Do you have a request? Because he needs requests. Do you want to request Ian to paint a shark, a certain kind of shark next week?
It's Mystic's here on a regular basis, so it's her turn.
Yeah, she pretty much is. Mystic, like, and if so, which shark would you like?
Oh, really pushing both out there. It's whether thing is, it's whether you can find a decent reference to a specific type of shark.
Okay, so all right, we might not be able to make.
I mean, if it's one of common sharks like a great white, or something like that, then yeah. But if it's the Madagascan free-toed limpet shark, then I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do it.
So she said, how about a whale shark? They're beautiful and gentle.
They are, but
not so common.
It's getting a decent image of them. I might be able to. I have seen one or two decent. Yeah, I'll have a look at a whale shark.
We'll see what he can do. If not a whale shark, it'll be just a shark. Some kind of more common shark or something that he can find a copyright-free reference picture of.
It's really funny because over Christmas, the only decent film that were actually on our TV was Shark Nation.
Oh, I know they do that. Okay, here, Mystic Unigon said, if not a whale shark, a great white would be fine.
There's plenty of great white photos.
Yeah, that's common. Great whites are common.
I mean, I might be able to do it from a cameraman's viewpoint where you can see like a third person of somebody in a cage and a shark. Something like that, so with a bit of drama in it.
And Sleestack says Sharknado. I don't know.
Well, it's a little bit like it's a cheaper version. It was a cheaper version of it. It's called Shark Nation or something like that, or World of the Sharks or something like a really cheap, like a cheesy version of it.
Yeah, Jen Wild about art says great whites are gorgeous. Yeah,
they are. They're very beautiful animal, actually.
But they're very lethal, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're an alpha predator.
Yeah, they're just
They're not to be messed with. They could open their mouth and chop you in two.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently, they had some sharks off the coast of
Australia.
Yorkshire. Yeah, well, they have them in Australia, great whites, yeah. But they had off the coast of Yorkshire.
Oh, and this summer on the Jersey Shore, they were having shark sightings, a number of shark sightings.
I tell you what it is. The one we just mentioned, the whale shark. I believe it comes to breed in Britain. Just above Britain, between North Pole and Britain. It comes up there to breed, and then it goes back down south to give birth. back, down to the Americas and all that sort of, and that's what it does. It goes in a big cycle all year.
And that's the whale shark, you said?
I believe so, yeah. So we do get sharks even in Britain, but you can't really call. I mean, it's a massively different thing. It's the largest of all sharks, the whale shark. But it's like it's been listening to too much jazz, too much Pink Floyd. Like, oh wow, I'm mellowed out, man. I'm a shark. But
Oh, really?
I'm like 1967, man. That's the when I think of a cartoon version of a whale shark, I just think of it as being some sort of like hippie from 1960s. Oh wow, man, yeah. Way out, dude.
Oh yes, Dina, I know exactly what you're talking about. Everybody wanted to see Jaws, and the line wrapped around the theater. The line wrapped around the theater, and we waited in line because Jaws was like a big deal, and it was so scary. That yeah. And she said he was traumatized by the porthole. Yes, by the porthole scenes.
I mean, it was brought out the same year as Star Wars, and I think it was brought out just before Star Wars came out, and up until that time, that were really, really good special effects that they used in that, because it really looked like a shark, didn't it? I mean, not that
she was so scared she was so scared that she was in 3rd grade at the time. She was so scared that she was afraid to even go swimming in the swimming pool after that.
Oh, that's a bit extreme. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Jen says for her daughter's birthday, she went shark diving in a cage.
Oh my Gideon.
She would she was terrified for her daughter. You didn't go with her, did you? You were just terrified for your daughter. Oh, I've seen that on TV. I would hate doing that.
What, going
being diving in a shark cage and being dipped under and being dropped underwater where all the sharks are, and you're in it.
You know what? I feel a little bit sorry for sharks in that sense, because they're being used as like entertainment for people, and all they're doing is wanting to get some food, and along comes these humans and dangle some food in front of them, and it's all a bit of entertainment for them, and it's confusing for them as animals, because they then start thinking, oh, I come here every time and humans feed me, and that's how I live my life now. I don't actually do what I'm supposed to do, and that's hunt for food. So, and then when tourist trade goes away, that's it. That animal dies.
Oh, Sleestack says he's not scared of fish or coyotes, but he's scared. But he says people are scary.
Yeah, people are the scariest thing on the planet. That's why my policy of destroying at least 4 billion people on the planet will work. We're the scariest animal on this planet. There's only one other thing scarier than a human being on this planet that's alive, and that's Ebola virus. That is scary.
Yeah.
That's a killing machine, that.
And Jen says that her daughter, the one who went in the shark cage, also went and saw the crocodiles.
Scariest, nearest I've ever been to actually seeing a shark. I went to this aquarium, if you want to call it that, and in this great big open pool, there was some one of them, a stingray. They're weird. They just flop about like jelly. They flop, 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 flop. Like that, honestly.
What flops around?
A stingray.
Oh, stingray.
It just comes to the surface at water, and it like floats on top, and it just flops, and then you just like pat it, and it must obviously enjoy being patted. I don't know.
Oh, Dina says your painting is stunning.
Oh, thank you, Dina. Coming from Dina, that means an awful lot. That because she's a very high quality artist.
Mm-hmm.
Might just, I mean, literally is detail in there.
Is that a suggestion of a fence behind him, kind of?
No, what it is there's some twigs. I'll make them a bit more obvious. There's like little sproutlets and twigs of branch trees sticking out of ground.
Right.
Like that. Must be some like bushland or something. Yeah, I think that might be done.
Can you wait? I don't think we're seeing the whole painting. I can't see the sky.
I'll see if I can lift it up a bit. Now we're semi-done. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll do. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Right. That's all of it.
Oh,
You see all of it now?
Something's blocking it. Oh.
Hey?
There's a big shadow over it. Something. Oh, there we go. That's
any shadow now.
Oh yeah, I love the spaciousness of it. It's beautiful painting.
So we've got what we've got there is we've got a grey blue sky that we blocked in, and we let that come down into this hill, and we went that direction, and then as an alternative to make it, we went that direction, and we crisscrossed all the way down to here, where you've got like a very dry mixture of paint, and we made it rough and bumpy. And have you noticed how it's that paint actually lightened up a lot? But when you first talked about it, you said it was fairly dark, that, but it's actually gone a lot lighter, and that's how watercolor goes. When you're first painting on it, it looks dark, but it goes an awful lot lighter. So you have to compensate for that, especially if you're just trying to do it in one session.
So everybody's saying fabulous, fantastic.
I mean, if I were to do this again, I'd put a bit more emphasis on. I think the painting is a little bit too small for the detail in the eye.
Oh, okay.
But apart from that, it's all right. It's helped us get an idea of what we can do with winter scenes and how we can deal with fur and various other things. So it's been a nice session today, hasn't it, to have a look at various things. Have we got anything else that we might need to? I'll tell you what, I thought we might not, I thought we'd get this done a little bit early, right? So what I did have planned, just in case.
Yeah.
Although I won't now because we've only got 10 minutes anyway. On were it yesterday? Chrissy did a tulip painting. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yes, I remember. I was there for that.
And I found an image that has a red tulip there, a yellow tulip there, and I forget what colour. It's another colour. But in the background, there's all sorts of different bits and blobs of colours. And I thought about doing one of those really highly saturated, watery, almost splashy abstracts with it. So that's probably my next painting to do there.
Well, maybe save that for another time that you need a second.
Well, possibly. But I mean, next week we're going to look to seeing if I can do a shark painting. But
yes, everybody, it's the same time next week. It's every Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our guest artist is Ian Jackson, watercolor painter extraordinaire.
See if I can bring it really up close. And there you go. There's your close up of your what do they call them? Coyotes.
Yeah, coyote.
It has a little bit of a shadow in the snow. Then little bits of ruffled detail here. And then as you go back, it's more like a straight wash.
Oh, now I hear your dogs. The dog.
No, that's another dog at other side of the road.
Oh, that's that one I heard.
So, yeah, that's
Dina says, brilliant, Ian.
Thank you.
Jen says, gorgeous. I say,
at a later time, I might go in and adjust that face because I'm not absolutely. I think the eyes are a little bit too big.
Too big?
Yeah, it's looking a little bit too cartoony.
Oh.
So I might go back and do some fiddling, and I don't know. You can end up ruining things by doing stuff like that. So.
Oh, Sleece Dad goes, that was the painting that was barking.
Probably. So if you got bit by one of these, would you be a were-coyote?
Would you be a what?
If you got bit by one of these, would you be a were-coyote?
You mean like a werewolf?
Mm.
Instead of a werewolf, a were-coyote?
So if you got bit by a pug, would you be a were-pug?
Or if you're or like vampires, when you get bit by vampire, you become a vampire.
Not always. Some people already are.
Oh, and then Jen said that Jen said that when that dog started barking in your where you are, her dog started barking.
Did it? Did it hear it? Oh, yeah. Talking international language with one another. I mean, that's it. You see, animals, they don't need to translate any language. Dogs just go woof, 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 woof. Look, I've just said woof, woof, woof. And it's heard me, and it's barking. It's an international language that they all understand. Woof, woof, woof.
Jen says she wants to be a werepug.
A werepug. I can't use that because I know Dee Dee Willingham did something like that. She did a series of monsters. Oh, I lost my thing. Oh, nightmare. Nightmare of nightmares.
And Sleep Deck says people get bit by the coyotes. I think he's saying about the coyotes by taking carry out from a restaurant. How can that? And yet you have coyotes. You know that you can pet them.
Well, it depends on how domesticated they become, don't it? If they become used to. Thing is, at the end of the day, they're only wanting you for food, so they'll come up and they'll let you pat them and everything.
Hi, Big
But they expect you to feed them. They're not stupid.
Hi, Big Steve. Thanks for joining us. Oh, hi, Nero Trigger.
I was watching a documentary.
Welcome, Nero Trigger. He likes He likes your picture. And Big Steve, hey there. Nice seeing you, Nero Trigger and Big Steve, joining us near the end now. Oh, okay.
I think I have done that a little bit dark.
Yeah, good to see you too, Nero Trigger and Big Steve. Good to see you guys.
If I were to alter anything, I'd probably make that a little bit more grey rather than dark. Up here, this bit. In fact, I may do that. Look for adjustments. I'll not put this up yet. I might make some adjustments to this.
To right there?
Yeah, alter the eyes and make this lighter. This bit here. It's a little bit too dark for me, though. A tiny bit. But I mean, they are like that. I mean, the ones that I've seen have got like a like an orangey ochre kind of colouring with like a grey black over, an over colour.
Oh, Nero's been here the whole time, and he was cleaning his room and listening to us. Oh, thank you for keeping it.
Oh, that's it. Almost
keeping it on listening. Thank
you. Almost podcast like. Almost like a podcast. There you go. We aim to please. Now I keep wanting to go back onto it, and I know I shouldn't at the moment. Leave it.
What do you think about it?
Let's see. I need to go away and have a. See, that's the important part of it. You don't think you've got to get everything done in one session. You can get the core of the artwork. That's why with my paintings that I've been doing on video recently, I've just been doing segments of it, and then
so many artists do not do things in one shot. Like they do things over time.
That's it. Because you might need a complete for doing a background. You might need one mindset, and if your mindset's in that frame of mind when you go to paint the foreground, which needs another set of techniques, you may fluff your lines and not get it right. So you just got to be aware of the fact that your mind needs to be right focus for what you're doing at the time, or it would end up being that you may not get the technique that you were wanting, or it may look that your foreground looks too much like your background. You say that there's not an awful lot in this painting. It still took us nearly 2 hours to paint it, but in saying that, we've been waffling, haven't we? As is normal for us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So are you confident we're doing doing fur now? Do you think you could take on the fur challenge?
I don't have if I had a rake brush, I don't have a rake brush.
You don't need a rake brush. Just look. Get a normal a brush that don't lose its shape when it's not all you have to do.
And then cut it and make my own.
Just get your brush.
Yeah.
Right. Just get your brush and I don't want to do it over that because it'll probably end up loose. And make it
like that.
Spriggy like that, and then very, very carefully just go
Now, if
Look it over.
I do an animal, I will probably be doing it in acrylic.
Same thing. Don't
Okay.
matter. Same technique all the way through. I mean, the only other time that it would be probably different is if you were using a knife with oil or something like that, or some other brush. I mean, if I were gonna do an oil painting, right, and do that very brushy kind of dry brush technique, I'd use something like this, an hog-hair brush.
Oh, you inspired Jen today. Jen's wild about art. Says she's gonna give that a try. Give that a go today.
Now, Jen, if you want the reference image, I can send it to you. If have I got your details on Facebook? I don't know. Or if you can contact if you want the original.
Facebook.
Yeah. Or if you can contact.
Oh gosh, I've been stopped. I have not been putting it in your channel. Goodness.
All right, don't worry about it. Vast majority of people.
That was really good. I was putting in, dropping in your link every few minutes, and I had it ready to go in the description box. And now I put in the description box now his link to his channel.
Well, just put it in when it's finished, and then it's because it don't really matter. Most people who are on here actually know my channel anyway.
Oh, Sleesek says his wife wants to do a painting now too.
Oh well, you know what? Just have a go. That's what you need to do. Just have a go.
And Dina says you can't. Yes, you can cut up your old brushes to make the shapes you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I wanted with this, for example, I could cut an angle in it and make it into an angle brush.
Right. The only thing, yes, angle brush would be easy. I just want to. I think making a rake brush would be a little trickier.
Oh no! I mean, you
just go
cut it. Right. Well, look, I'm not going to cut it, but what I'd do if I were going to do this with this brush, I'd go so far.
Oh, I think I know what I would do.
All right.
I would pull out. I would pull them forward and cut them.
Right.
A section at a time. Pull it forward and cut.
I'd go like that, right? And say, right, I do not want to cut any farther than that. And then I'd get a pair of scissors. If I could find a pair of scissors. And I'd go snip, 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 snip from that angle. You know, in like that. And don't cut any farther than that.
Yeah, you say don't cut any farther because that's not good then?
Well, you don't want it to be overly. You only want the tip. The tip just is a rake.
Oh, okay.
Because this is an old brush, I'll have a go. I'll bring it down a bit more so it's a bit more extreme. Let me just right.
All right, that's wait.
If I can find my scissors. Oh, there they are. Right, so listen, it's an old brush on, so don't overly concern yourself. So one other thing I'm going to do is get rid of that so I don't get bristles all over. So
right.
Might take a while to do this. I'm rushing quite fast.
Well, thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you so much. We had a very good live stream today, and Ian did a wonderful painting.
It won't be a minute or two though.
You're not gonna. What you're gonna do this and then show us?
Yeah, I'm going to show you what it does.
Okay, he's making a homemade rake brush.
Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes, but usually when you cut with scissors, you have to cut things on an angle. So I'm kind of like,
I'm not cutting like that. I'm cutting directly into it.
okay. And okay, and everybody, the rake brush is what's good for painting fur. So that's what all this discussion about the rake brush is, because that's what Ian used for painting fur today for the coyote.
Nearly there.
You're welcome, Jen. And thank you for stopping by. And Dina, thank you so much. And Mystic Unigon and Sleep Stack Rule.
Have a go in.
He can't wait till next week. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying bye. I guess I'm saying bye ahead of time a little bit. Because I thought maybe you might be almost finished with that cutting.
Right.
Oh, and Sleep Stack, he says he can't wait till next week. I do need to go.
See how it's, I mean, it's not. I'm going to.
He can't, he thanks so much for you doing this every week. So, yes. And if Nero Trigger's still here and listening, thank you so much for listening. And we have some other friends that listen. Anybody that people
So
that listen.
I've made it now. I've made it now that it's raked. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let me find some paper.
So that's a big brush. Right, I see.
Right. But,
yeah, that was a good tip to put the tape around it. I wouldn't have thought of that, so that's a nice
tip. You put the tape around it to hold it steady.
Right.
And it also gives you a line to cut to, and you don't cut beyond it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right. Oh, where's all my paints and everything now? I've put it all to one side now. Right. I'm gonna wet that, and then I'm gonna get some. Oh, that's not it. Use my proper paint.
Are you doing a little demonstration?
No, I'm just going to show you the what it looks like once we've got it. Right, let's see if I can get some.
The homemade rake brush is just going to show a little bit of demonstration. Jen's going to try this. She's going to hunt out a couple of older brushes now.
Rake brushes are best when the wide brushes, more often than not. You can get a better rake brush out of a wide brush.
Okay.
Right, let's have a look, see what we get. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's because there's tips. There's half a dozen tips there now, and you can use that to do all sorts of things like fur.
Fur, or what? Maybe beach grass.
Oh, well, yeah, grass. Anything that's a repetitive like thing like that. If you know what I mean. See if I can get a really dry mixture, because it's a bit wet there.
Jen said that's awesome.
And
bear fur. Bear fur.
Now, this is a big one. I'm not going to do that with this, right? And let's just look at what that would be like if it were just a normal the normal brush that it used to be. Right.
Gina said, well done with the brush, Ian.
Right. Look how that's just like flat when I brush it. Whereas now this brush, which is now my new favourite, it's got to be because I've just ruined it. Only problem is with these big brushes is you've got to have a big palette to do it with.
Yeah, that's right.
It's nice. I like that. I'll save that for doing big brush stuff.
Yeah, and Dina just did say this could be a neat effect for grasses.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to make sure that you're not only thing I would say with that is making sure that it don't look overly uniform. So
right.
what I do with that is put this one back. Oh no, I've got another one there. Oh, bonus. It's all right. It's scrap paper, this, right? So you could go do like that, but you'd need to variate it at the angle.
Yeah.
See how I'm almost vertical.
Yeah.
And then horizontal, vertical, horizontal, bits in between. And for grass, that'd be great. There you go. Okay. Done in seconds. How long would that take you to paint? I mean, just as another thing that you could do with this before we go. I don't know what colour to do it. So I'll do that. Right. Probably can't see it, right? Right. And there you go. You've got like a instant background grass with flowers.
Oh, okay. Wildflowers.
Yeah, wildflowers. And you can put whatever colours you want in them. And that would just splatten it once you'd done it. Once you'd done the grassy bit. And there you go. It's a versatile brush.
Poppies in a field, Dina says.
Yeah.
And Mystic says, or berries.
Or berries. Berries on a tree. Whatever, yeah. And all you have to do is, like I showed you before, use old brushes, obviously, cut into so far into it and make it spriggy. I mean, these are old brushes that I used to use for oil painting, but you can still use them as long as they're supple enough. I mean, I used to look after my brushes with oil painting. I mean, I used to baby oil them and all sorts. But saying that, that's one of the reasons why I don't use them, because it's gone a bit rusty, and that rust comes off and goes on there.
Mystic says she's definitely going to do this.
Woo! I've gone all abstract. It's worth £10 million now. Right. I tell you what these brushes are, if you want to try one of these. Langnickel large area artist L280.
I have some like that, but they're more at least very less expensive kind.
Most craft shops and hobby art shops will have something like that. It's an hog airbrush. They're about 2 inches wide. In fact, actually, you know what you can do? You can go to a dollar store.
Yeah.
Get some hog air decorating brushes, and that'll do exactly the same. So there we go. That's filled his extra time up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So on that note, I'll
bid
you farewell until next week.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderators.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody who visited, and hope you join us next Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my live streams are impromptu live streams for when I do my painting, or I have impromptu live streams. So.
All right, and thank you.
Every Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ian usually comes on. Usually he's for the most part usually a guest artist on Fridays, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
I hope you join us next time.
How many have we had here?
We held about 10 or more the whole time.
Oh, that's good. And we've been on for 2 hours. So, and how are you doing with your hours?
Well, I got the watch hours, and now I'm under review with YouTube. They told me it takes. Yeah, they tell me it could take up to a month, and then I find for them to tell me.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you. I know I have to make it.
You got to keep it up though. Remember, so just.
I know, but that's not the same thing as starting at 0. I have to see how much work that is to keep it up. We'll see, but it's not like starting at 0 again. So I just have to see I'm gonna have to see what things I might have, how much work it's gonna take to keep it up. I'll have to see how that goes.
Oh no, it's an ongoing job that. So all the best to you in that sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna require is the same thing from going from 0 to that, but we'll see.
So you're getting there slowly but surely. All right
then. Thanks, everybody. Okay, thanks, Ian. Thank you, Ian.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Signing off.